Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, the F122 Drive Chrono with McLaren Porsche, episode number 65 today for the Dutch Grand Prix Season 5. If you missed the previous episode, the Belgian Grand Prix, I recommend you go and check that one out because, well, it was pretty dominant for me in Belgium. As well, you know, we just walked away from Daniel Ricciardo. It was a 1-2 for the team there as we've put another durability upgrade on the car. Not that it's going to impact that flat line at the top of the R&D chart. Red Bull, though, have jumped back into second place. They haven't been the second fastest team all season, but you know, they are, to be fair, they are starting to get there as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Leclerc and Verstappen, where they can work together, because they didn't work together earlier in the season at Jeddah when they made contact, and subsequently Verstappen lost for that second podium spot.
Right, I've got a little bit of an electrical problem at the moment. We're working on it, so don't worry. We're going to get you out there as soon as possible.
So, qualifying, well, apart from the electrical fault, I mean, we're going to start from the back. Simple as that. I forgot to change the components again. Too depressed by following Southampton Football Club in the end. And seeing Red Bull and Williams copy last year's livery for this year's car. So yes, instead it's Charles Leclerc though leads Verstappen by half a tenth rather. Ricciardo and Schumacher didn't set a time either, so I'm not sure what's happened there. But anyway, they'll be starting ahead of us, so see what we can do from last grid time for the race.
For years, the passionate Dutch fans have been easy to find trackside in races across Europe. Here, this weekend, it's even easier to find the Dutch fans as they have a race to call their own once again. A warm welcome to all of our viewers in the Netherlands and around the globe, of course, as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. Zandvoort circuit then, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6 mile lap. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who will start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Gasly, Kevin Magnussen and Vettel, Norris, Russell, Hamilton and Esteban Ocon, Albon, Zhou, Robert Schwartzman and Bottas, Stroll, Latifi, Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo, Mick Schumacher and Phoenix. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. It's just about time to go to the track for the beginning of the race, but before we do, Natalie Pinkham, what types of strategy do you think we can expect going into today's race?
Well, there's a lot that both driver and the team have to keep in mind when going into a race. The tyres, fuel, energy recovery system, the list goes on and on. But I think the key to today's victory will come down to the pit stop strategy. Come in too soon and you might find yourself needing more than one stop. Too late and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by spending longer on worn tyres.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Thanks, Mark. Hopefully we can get some points, even if it's just maybe a couple, just to salvage the gap to Sainz. But to be fair, we are 30 odd points in front, so it's not too much, especially with Red Bull going to dominate, as they have done with Leclerc and Verstappen holding the front row. So 5 red lights, the Dutch Grand Prix, first race here since season 2, I think, and away we go. And well, it's actually a good start compared to Schumacher, not so good against the rest of the field. Schumacher's still on the left-hand side, they've done a dive on the inside, try and get Latifi at turn 1, and somebody else there on the outside there we have done successfully. Now we're going to have fronting with the Alfa Romeo Schwartzman, right round the outside of, 4 or 5 cars at the carousel section, and it's going to give us the racing line. We've all of a sudden, in just a space of a couple of corners, have managed to make up 9 places. That is the start that we wanted. P11, now we can definitely look forward to getting some points, especially the fact that Pierre Gasly there, you saw that little contact with Carlos Sainz. He's got front wing damage, hasn't come in, so he will be holding people up, I'm sure, through sector 2 as Albon has to go around the outside, but we're going to force him out and retain for now P11. Now we're setting up Esteban Ocon for P10. Now the setup is a lot better than when we were last here in career mode. I'm going to have a go around the outside. You can go either way into turn 1, as you'll see later on, but basically we're already up into the points and it's only been 2 laps. Right around the outside there. Ocon, to be fair, we gave him room, to be fair, so fair racing to himself. Now we're just going to go right around the outside of Russell, the carousel. Russell, to be fair though, keeps his foot in. I'm going to squeeze him to that left hand side. We don't want to be going side by side for this section. We're able to get the position purple first sector as well, so we have got pace around here as well. But you can see that there's a gap starting to be formed between Gasly and Sainz from 3rd to 4th. It's not too much damage, but if I was Alpha Tower to let Magnussen pass to secure that P4, now there's a chance we can overtake it as we go down the inside this time of Sir Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. Mercedes not having a good time of it as well. Somebody else who's not having a good time at the moment is Daniel Ricciardo, our teammate. He's stuck behind Latifi in P19, so it's not been a great start for the Australian in that Haas sandwich. The Haas is sort of a yo-yo car. Some tracks it's brilliant, like on the verge of getting top 10, and other tracks it's useless. Having a look at Norris now with DRS down the inside. We're given the room on the outside, so we should be able to get the traction here and up to P7 now. So this is great. Next up is Sebastian Vettel, and where he hogs the inside. So this time it's the outside line for us, but it's just either way, it's as long as you've got the grip on the tyres and you can make that overtake either down the inside or the outside there. Had a little look at Magnussen at the carousel section, but a little too wide there. Magnussen was too far ahead. Again, having a look at thinking of a dive bomb with that second DRS zone, which you can make the overtake there, but you have to be like right up the person's gearbox at that particular point. But we are going to have a good run nevertheless out of the banking, at the final corner. Magnussen's got DRS on Gasly, but we've got DRS on Magnussen. We're just going to dive down the inside. Magnussen gives us space. He initially didn't think we would force him out into the path of Vettel, and now that's given us a free shot at Gasly, and surely should hopefully be able to pull away from Gasly. Gasly goes defensive. We're going to go around the outside. You can see that front left end plate looks like it's litting us a little bit there as we went past, but easy overtake to P4. Oh, so we've got front wing damage of our own by the sound of it. I don't know where we've picked this up as well, but it's only light front wing damage, so it's not really causing us issues. It's just that we're slightly down on our lap time, sadly. We are able to pull away from Magnussen, 1.4 the gap, so you come into the pits then. It's a slow pit lane here as well in Zandvoort. As well as we come into the pits, I see a hard tyre for an Alpine. I think that's the Norris, Ferrari strategy there. Ricciardo goes through. He started ahead of us, and he's only 4-5 seconds up the road as we come out the pits the exit feed into the mid part of turn 2, and Magnussen has gained some time. Gasly has not changed his front wing like myself, so he is holding up everyone in P6 still, but we know how fast that AlphaTauri is in a straight line, because that's what we built that car to be, because we haven't had an error or Sashi regulation change at all in this career mode. The front three though are still close together. Leclerc still leading, much to the annoyance of the locals, from second place Max Verstappen. This is going to be good for Red Bull in their fight with I think it's Ferrari in the constructors. For Sainz P3, so disappointing day for him, and he'll be very disappointed to see that I'm P4, because he was thinking before the race, he's starting P3, I'm down in P20, there's a good chance to gain a load of points in the championship, and he's currently only going to get 3. As Mick Schumacher, he was circulating in last place, his Renault powered Haas, has given up. As we're going to jump to the final lap, the Sainz did have a slight issue, but he's too far in front for me able to do anything about it in the end. So in the end, it is P4, which, you know, for making up 16 places, that for me is a champion's drive, because, you know, we made up 16 places. Yes, we got helped up by Gasly slowing everybody up, and he came P6, so a good haul of 18 points for AlphaTauri. To be fair, they're solidifying P6 in the championship. Might go Alpha, you never know. If they have a good run in these final couple of, they could go after Alpine. We'll come back to that shortly. Ricciardo P18, dreadful from him. Not a great time. But our lead has been cut by 3 points to 35. Not that it really matters. To be honest, we're too far out in front. Leclerc moving up to P3. Can Red Bull get their act together as well? We'll have to wait and see about that. But as I was saying, AlphaTauri, you know, the past couple of races they've got both cars scoring now, scoring, you know, top 5, 6, 7 results depending on what else is happening. They're ahead of Alpine. Alpine has scored 5 points in the last 2 races. Ocon has scored just 8 points this season. He's not having a great season. Norris as well is starting to regret his move to Alpine to replace Max Verstappen, who's celebrating the fact that now that he's actually won a Grand Prix. Leclerc's won his first Grand Prix of the season, so Red Bull are definitely back. They're too far back, I think. Leclerc might have an outside chance, but I still think they are too far back. So yes, pretty much I think we have big chance with the races we've got left. I think we should be able to close this in on a second title that I've never done that on any F1 career mode. So yes, if you have enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you see plenty more F1 22 driver career videos as I'm going to count. The next episode at Monza will be out on Thursday. So until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day and goodbye.